This is our time, and yeah, we gon' shine. You better put your blockers on before you get blind. Wildcats gon' win. Yeah, we all in.
Welcome to another brand new episode of Sports Corner. I'm Felix Reyes Jr., and with me, I have Timothy White Jr. Dominique is out today, so while the woman is away, the man shall play. On today's episode, we will discuss some surprises in the NFL, some elite NBA guard play, and the SAE fraternity video that was released. But first, March Madness is here. Here's Martin with this week's Sports Corner, Street Corner actually.
We're back with another edition of Street Corner, and today I have a very special guest. Right here, look who I have with me.
Hey, it's your very own Dominique Williams.
And today we're going to ask students who's going to win the NCAA tournament.
I'm going with my Duke Blue Devils, though.
You got a reason why?
They're the best.
Of course, the best team there is that's Duke.
Championship.
Kentucky.
I say Duke is.
Kentucky.
I'm gonna have to say Kentucky because of the simple fact that they're undefeated, and that's very rare to happen, you know, in the league. So I say Kentucky.
Kentucky, hands down. But for the men's, I'm gonna say Duke.
Duke? Why you feel that way?
I don't want Kentucky to win. That's the most popular vote, and I want to see something different this year. So
Really?
I want to see Duke win.
Championship.
Kentucky,
Have a reason why?
because they know how to hustle. They work as a team. No one is really selfish on their team, and everybody plays to win.
I think Kentucky's going to win.
You got any reason why?
They're undefeated.
Well, as you can see, there's a lot of mixed feelings on today's Street Corner. A lot of people saying Duke, a lot of people saying Kentucky. Me personally, I'm going with Duke because first, Grayson Allen's from Jacksonville, Florida, and I've seen him play. He's an amazing player. I always loved Duke ever since Kyrie Irving was on the team. And since they got knocked out the ACC tournament, I feel like Coach K is going to have his team bounce back for the March Madness tournament. And I just feel like they can bring the championship back home. What about you?
Well, you already know I'm picking Kentucky, you know, Big Blue Nation. But, you know, they still got unfinished business to take care of from last season. You know, they did fall short from UConn. And I feel like, you know, this season they have been proven that they are better, and they're supposed to be the national championship. I mean, they stayed undefeated. They're making history for them school to being undefeated. So, you know, they're going to take that national championship, and I'm going with them.
All right, thank you. Back to you guys at the studio.
Thank you,
We're
Martin.
back with another
Dominique
edition
just
of
can't
Street
stay
Corner.
away, huh?
Just can't.
Well, who makes your Final Four, Tim?
Well, you know, I definitely have to go with the undefeated Kentucky.
Okay.
Have to go ahead and put it in there. Definitely got to go ahead and throw Louisville in there, too. Had to put Baylor in there. A lot of people are counting Baylor and Louisville out, shockingly. Even though they're top teams in the tournament, I, for one, have to put them in there. And, of course, you can't fail with Duke. But I have winning the whole thing,
Right.
Kentucky, going undefeated.
Got you.
And I have them playing Duke in the NCAA championship.
Okay.
For one
That's a
reason,
solid
you know, the one reason why I believe Kentucky will win and they will defeat Duke is because they defeated Duke in the championship in 1978. Kentucky is 3-2 against Duke in tournament play all time. And, you know, they're like, Kentucky is like the Spurs of the NCAA. You know, not necessarily, you know, as regarding
Age
their
and
youth,
all
not
that.
regarding their age and
Right,
all
because
that, you know?
they do it the opposite way.
They do it the opposite way. But I mean, like, their leading scorer on the team is Aaron Harrison, one of the Harrison twins, with 11.3 points per game. I mean, they have all Americans
Right.
straight out of high school on their squad that are used to averaging double digits, like higher
Right.
than 15.
They average probably 25, 30
Yeah,
in high school.
now they're averaging like 8, 9, 10. Like I said, the highest, the person that scores the most points on the team only scores 11.3.
Right.
So I mean, they really fundamentally sound. They're very unselfish. I mean, it's just, man, the coach is doing an amazing job, man. He has caused the team, Coach John Calipari, he has caused the team to buy in on team basketball.
Right.
He's buying in on team basketball, and it's just like, I don't know, like it's wonderful to watch them play, and especially it's almost like they're just playing with you, like, you know, they're just like, oh, okay, they're just going with the motions
And then
until
we'll
they
turn
get
it up.
down. And it's the second half, and it's like less than 5 minutes left. That's when they're at their
Right.
best, and it's just like, okay, guys, you know why we're here.
Well, why'd you pick? Tell me why you picked Baylor to make the Final Four.
Well, I picked Baylor. For one, I feel like they're one of the sleepers. Shocking, like I said, they're also one of the top teams, but in the tournament. But I still feel like a lot of people are sleeping on them. I feel like they're also defensively sound, just like Kentucky is, because Kentucky relies mainly on their defense.
Right.
That's one thing about it. And Baylor is also defensively sound, and I feel like they'll beat Arizona, because I have a feeling Baylor will meet Arizona in the tournament.
Right.
And I feel like they'll beat Arizona. And Arizona and Baylor are two very similar teams, is what some people fail to realize. But I believe it'll be a little close one.
Right.
Probably come down to the final minute. Might be a buzzer beater shot. But they're pretty, like I said, they're pretty even. But Baylor holds a slight advantage with team overall stats in rebounds, steals, and assists.
Okay.
Baylor averages 39 rebounds, while Arizona averages 37. Baylor averages 8 steals, while Arizona averages 7, and Baylor averages 15 assists, while Arizona averages 14.
Right.
So like I said, I feel like they'll meet up sometime in the tournament. I'm just giving the advantage slightly to Baylor.
Okay. Well, my Final Four, kind of similar, but not really. I got Kentucky as the #1 overall seed. They're making the Final Four. I have Wisconsin making the Final Four. I have Virginia, and I have Duke making the Final Four.
All right.
Now, I picked Kentucky to win it all overall as well. They're the #1 overall seed.
You can't argue with that.
They still have unfinished business. I mean, like I've said before, Willie Cauley-Stein seems to be their engine. He only averages 9 points a game and 6 rebounds, but that also comes with about 1 poster per game. He's dunking on everybody.
Highlights for days.
Exactly. And I mean, they're very sound defensively. They're 3rd in points allowed per game, and they're 2nd in blocks. So, like you said, they have a lot of depth. I mean, the only person's their leading scorer scores 11 points per game. So they have a lot of depth. They're undefeated. And then going into Wisconsin, I have Wisconsin. They're the Big Ten champions. Frank Kaminsky, he's a 7-foot senior, and I'm sure he wants to go out on a high note. He's definitely looking to make the Final Four in his final year. And he averages 18 points and 8 rebounds per game. And I feel like he can really stretch the floor and bring those big men out and dominate against them.
I don't know. I'm a little asleep on Wisconsin this year.
Really?
I don't know. Even though they're one of the #1 seeds, I can't see it. But explain Virginia to me.
Virginia,
That's what I want to see.
I picked Virginia. They're 1st in points allowed, so they allow the fewest points in the nation.
Okay.
The key for them, though, I feel like, is if they could get Justin Anderson back and healthy. He kind of got injured.
That's why he hurt his hand. In the Final Four.
Right. He hurt his hand, but I feel like he's going to be ready when the tournament starts. I feel like he's going to be ready. And he shot close to 50% from the three-point range. And they were 1st in the ACC regular season before a quick loss. And that was kind of due to Anderson hurting himself to North Carolina. Now, I picked Duke to make the championship against Kentucky. They're 4th in scoring, and they average about 80 points per game. So
yes, that's one thing about them.
Right.
High-powered offensive machine.
Right. They definitely it'll be defense versus offense in that championship game, and it'll be one for the ages, really.
Most definitely. And also, Duke, they took a loss, shockingly, to Notre Dame in the ACC semifinals.
Right.
So I believe they're coming into the tournament a little bit more humbled, like just a little bit more, okay, we took a loss to a team we know we should have beat.
Right.
So we got
gotta
our
play
mind
better.
straight. Kentucky, the odds aren't in their favor to go to the championship and actually win, but I'm rooting for them. And especially, like I said, usually they'll wait till about the last 5 or 3 minutes in the second half to, really give their all and then ultimately win the game. If anything, take it to overtime like they've done a few times during the season.
But they can't wait that long against Duke.
Yeah, they can't. They can't do that against Duke, especially with Jahlil Okafor averaging 17.7 points per game, 9 rebounds.
Projected #1 overall pick.
Right? I mean, you got guys like Quinn Cook who's showing out. I think he's been with the team for quite some time.
Right, he's
now.
a senior now.
He's a
So
senior
he's
now.
trying to go out on a high note as well.
He's trying to go out on a high note, and I feel like he might. I know he's going to enter the draft. I feel like he's a little bit of a sleeper in the draft, and as well as on the team. And you can't forget about Justice Winslow. Do not sleep on Justice Winslow. Once upon a time, one of the top prospects in all of America. So he's definitely going to get his buckets, averaging 12.3 points per game. And Tyus Jones, who's been an incredible freshman, averaging 11.6, basically being a good team leader on their floor general as a point guard. So
Right.
can't
So,
sleep on Duke.
well, that's our Final Four. Make sure you go to ESPN.com
out
and
the
join our
brackets.
bracket. Make sure you fill it out. Tournament starts soon.
Fill out your brackets.
Moving on, the NFL new fiscal year has begun, and there were some surprise moves.
Very
What
surprising.
moves really surprised you?
What moves really surprised me? I'd have to definitely go with DeMarco Murray. Oh, so disappointed. I wanted the Oakland Raiders to get him so badly. It's just.
I don't know how close they were to getting that.
I don't know how close they were, but I have a feeling they were kind of close. But anyways, DeMarco Murray, the NFL's 2014 rushing champion, signed with the Philadelphia Eagles last Thursday, leaving the Dallas Cowboys behind after the club wouldn't dub him the franchise tag. I don't blame you, because the Cowboys made a mistake. But one thing about it is Murray is receiving $18 million fully guaranteed in his contract. He signed a 5-year contract with the Eagles up to $42 million.
Exactly.
So I mean, this man is finally getting his pays due.
He made $3 million in his first 4 years. So I mean, what the Cowboys offered him was 5 years for $24 million.
Come on, man. This guy got you to the playoffs.
I mean, I felt like that was just dirt. And
He
that was
plays
disrespectful.
to win the game, okay?
Exactly. And now all their fans are saying that he was a product of the offensive line or whatever. But just 4 months ago, you were saying that he should have been the overall MVP and that
Right?
he was the best running back in the league. So
Come
which
on.
one is it?
Dallas Cowboys fans, I'm going to need you to make up your mind.
Right. So what was the next one that you had?
Oh, next one I had was definitely a little bit of a sleeper in the free agency, but it shocked me personally. Andre Johnson leaving the Texans after basically the Texans dropped him, but the Colts picked him up. And I felt like that was a great move for the Indianapolis Colts. Great for Andrew Luck. Now he has multiple weapons besides just T.Y. Hilton to go to.
Right.
And he's definitely filling that left wide receiver spot like Reggie Wayne used to do to
Exactly.
Marvin
They
Harrison.
just lost him.
So, I definitely feel like that's going to be great. The Colts were 11-5 last season, 2-1 in the postseason after losing to New England. And I feel like Andre Johnson, especially mentoring young guys like T.Y. Hilton, who he's almost a decade older than, will definitely, get the team chemistry on an all-time high, and it'll probably get them over that hump that they faced in the against New England in the conference finals. So basically, don't be surprised, folks, if you see the Indianapolis Colts in the championship next year.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, in the Super Bowl. That's all
Wow.
I'm saying.
I
That's
still
all I'm
wouldn't
saying.
even
I
go
feel
that
like this
far.
move is that great. But also to get on the numbers, Andre Johnson signed a 3-year contract worth $21 million, so he's going to be there for a little while.
Right. And then you had Maurice Jones-Drew retiring.
Oh yes,
That
shocking.
was shocking.
Shocking, man. But you know what? When you look at his stats this season, it's not shocking. And
Right.
This is
He
what I
had
realized.
probably his worst season.
Right? 43 attempts for 96 yards. 0 touchdowns this season with Oakland. Come on, man. Come on. You could have stayed with the Jaguars to do that. That's all I'm saying. As an Oakland fan, don't get me wrong. I used to definitely enjoy watching Jones-Drew play when he played for the
Jaguars.
For the Jaguars.
But how much of that is on him, and how much of that is just the Raiders aren't that good?
Bruh, so you trying to
I mean, you wanted DeMarco Murray to come there, and then he probably could put up the same numbers with that.
No. Don't even say that. Don't even say that. That ain't even cool. But no, the thing is, the reason why I know it's not the Raiders and it's him is because the last time he rushed over 1,000 yards was in 2011,
Right.
and it was 1,606. I mean,
It's
at the
been a
end
while.
of the day, he's only 30, so it's not like he doesn't have any
Right.
more time to go. But I mean, maybe he lost faith in himself. I don't know. But he definitely did. He definitely did write his retirement letter, I guess you could say. He posted it on Twitter, and here it is for you. I'm gonna go ahead and read that. These are the words of Maurice Jones-Drew. After much discussion with my family and business team during this offseason, I've decided to retire from the National Football League. The past 9 years were absolutely amazing. I'll be forever grateful to the countless people who have assisted me throughout my NFL journey. To my fans and my NFL fans worldwide, you are absolute greats. But for you, our league would not exist. Football has been a central part of my life for the past 24 years. But now I'm excited about looking forward to the next chapter of my life. Well, I guess there'll be a seat waiting for you on the ESPN NFL analysis board. I don't know.
Right, he's really a great guy. He's done interviews with NFL Network and things like that. So I'm sure he'll have a career doing what we do. Well, some of the things that surprised me was the first thing, Jimmy Graham being traded from the Saints to the Seattle Seahawks last week. They get him the number 2. They get the number 2 tight end. I feel like Gronkowski's still number 1, but Russell Wilson gets another target outside of Lynch and Chris Matthews, the breakout star in the Super Bowl. I feel like if they had Graham in that Super Bowl on that 1-yard line,
they would still pass the ball. They would
still pass the ball, but they're definitely not running a slant route. They're definitely running a fade to the outside corner, and it's either Jimmy Graham's going to get it or nobody's going to get it, and they live to play another down. I definitely feel like that's going to happen. That would have happened.
You still have Marshawn Lynch, okay? He wasn't that man to where he wanted to do
exactly. If they were going to pass it though, they would have been a better route.
Ball.
With him, I feel like they could still make another run at the Super Bowl too. Reggie Bush was another big move in that NFC West division.
Most definitely.
He gives them another scat back out of the backfield, replacing Frank Gore. And he's back in California, back in his home state,
right?
with the 49ers. Imagine that offense. You got Kaepernick at quarterback, you got Reggie Bush, and you're running the option route. First option, you give it to Bush. He might get 5-10 yards. Second option, you don't give it to Bush. Kaepernick takes it 15, 20 yards down the field. Third option, you fake it to Bush. Kaepernick steps back, drops it over the top, Vernon Davis, or they picked up Torrey Smith, great wide receiver, down the field, blowing top off any defense.
I'm not going to lie, 49ers looking good this season.
I'm sure they're poised to have a comeback season after last season was bad, but they actually lost one of their leaders on that team with Patrick Willis retiring. He retired after 8 NFL seasons, and he had made 7 straight Pro Bowls. So he was poised for a comeback this season after he had injuries, ended his season early last year. But I feel like with a lot of these players retiring before probably fans are expecting them to, it speaks in the player safety, and players want to end their career with their health intact, and they don't want to have to go through those brain troubles or all the concussion symptoms that they have later on in life. So I feel like it speaks to that.
I understand where you're coming from, and that definitely is a great point. But I personally feel like, with guys like Maurice Jones-Drew who retired and other guys also who retired earlier than they were expected,
right.
I feel like it's just a confidence thing, honestly. Like you said, Maurice Jones-Drew had one of the worst seasons of his career this year. He's only 30, so it's like I just felt like maybe he probably just felt like he couldn't do it anymore. I don't know. But that's more on a personal level. This is just what I'm assuming.
Right, you can't just assume though, because you don't really know them.
That's true. I mean, that's true, but that's what it looks like per se, from a fan's point of view. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, there's been amazing guard play in the NBA. Kyrie Irving scored 57 against the Spurs. Westbrook seems to fall out of bed with a triple-double, and Chris Paul was holding his own while Blake Griffin was out. What do you think about this amazing guard play that's been going on right now in the NBA?
All this amazing guard play just tells me one thing. The NBA is definitely evolving. And
right.
So, you hear all the old guys like Magic Johnson, all the retired guys, Larry Bird, they all say this. The NBA is evolving into they say it's getting a little softer, but I feel like it's just getting a little bit more finesse. You got guys like Kyrie Irving, as you see the highlights, oh my gosh, just ridiculous.
Put on an amazing ball handling display.
Amazing ball handling display. But also, I feel like it's a little bit of, I feel like Kyrie Irving is just now starting to,
coming to his own a little bit.
To his own, and I feel like he feels LeBron like coming there trying to take over, and Kyrie's just like, I was here when you left. Bro. Like, come on now.
Well, he wouldn't have been there if LeBron wouldn't have left either, though. So we got to remember that.
That is true.
So I mean, to me, I would say this: he's definitely one of the best ball handlers I've ever seen. Steph Curry's probably like, as far as right now, Steph Curry's 2, but Allen Iverson's probably overall number 2, because Kyrie Irving is definitely just one of the best. He has a yo-yo with the ball.
Most definitely.
I'm not sure if he gets enough recognition because his teammate is LeBron James, but that game that he put up against the Spurs was just amazing. Another thing out of that, though, was Kevin Love didn't even play in the fourth quarter. So I don't even know how he's feeling about that.
Well, there have been reports on Kevin Love and how he's definitely coming into his own now with the team. Like, he's getting a little bit more comfortable now, basically just because they're winning a little bit more now. Because like I had said, if not mistaken, an episode or two ago, the Cavaliers started off kind of rough.
Right, they did start off a little slow.
But it was LeBron, actually, who really got them to gel.
Right, LeBron came in and he didn't want to try to be overbearing to these young guys. So he said, okay, we're going to play how you want to play.
Had this arrogance to him, like, this is my team, bro.
He said, we're going to play how you guys want to play, and they lost a lot.
Then you're like, okay, now it's time to play my way.
Exactly, because he knows what it takes to win a championship. He's won 2. So, I mean, he's been
with the help of Dwayne Wade, just throwing that out
there. Yeah, it's definitely a team sport. But Westbrook is also playing amazing.
Six triple-doubles within 8 games?
That was amazing. He's been really good.
This guy is ridiculous. I don't want him to take the mask off anymore. Keep it. Keep it.
It's definitely helping. I don't think he gets out of bed unless he's sniffing a triple-double. The month of March, he's averaging a triple-double with 33, 10, and 10.
Wow.
Right, but I still feel like he turns the ball over a little too much with 6 turnovers.
But I mean, when you're the guy, and just throwing this in there, don't be shocked if you see a little bit more turnovers from him. Like if it goes up probably like a 0.2 or 0.3, because the guys, Serge Ibaka, their power forward, he just got injured. He's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Right. So
I mean, this is Westbrook's team now, like literally.
Right. There's nobody else. I mean, he takes a lot of shots, but I mean, who else are you going to get to take him?
That's true. But you know what? When the people ask him questions in the press conference, how'd you feel about this game? What really got you going? The guy is like, oh, it was my teammates,
Right.
They hit the shots. That's the only reason why I got my 10 assists. They hit the shots they needed to hit. They were definitely a great force. And he also speaks more so on the defensive side of the ball as well, on how everybody was fundamentally sound. This is after a win, which usually they get a win, and he'll say some stuff like this. But all I'm saying is people think Westbrook is just so, like, cocky and just like, oh, yeah, give me the ball. This is my team. I'm the real MVP. It's not even like that. Russell Westbrook is just going with the flow of things.
Right.
He just so happens to be having a great year.
Right. I feel like they're teetering on that 8 seed. Them and New Orleans.
Them in New Orleans, definitely. So, I actually have their stats right here. Oklahoma City is actually in 9th place as of right now.
Right.
With 37 and 30. Oh no, it's tied. Excuse me. Oklahoma City and New Orleans are 37 and 30. So. Because I feel like if Russell Westbrook does not make the playoffs, whether it's the 8th seed or the 7th seed or whatever, then I feel like he won't get the NBA MVP that he deserves.
Even if he makes the playoffs, he still might not get it. I mean, he's having a great statistical season. Yes.
He just passed Harden in points per game. That's the only thing that really that was really going for James Harden in that MVP race.
Right, but at the same time, it's still the Western Conference. He didn't play the whole season. He missed a lot of games, which is not his fault.
He missed the first month.
But, I mean, it's a tough conference, and even if he makes it, I feel like the MVP is more than just a statistical thing where you just get it just because you won.
How so?
I still feel like your team's record still has a lot to say about that. And if they're losing games and they're not raising their level as far as their rankings in the West, I feel like he still probably shouldn't get it.
But
you still have Steph Curry and James Harden that are top 4 seeds, teams winning a lot of games while
you have a point. You have a great point. But look at it from this point of view. Without Russell Westbrook, because we already knew obviously Kevin Durant's definitely out of the question when it comes down to MVP talk.
Right.
So without Russell Westbrook, the Thunder aren't in the playoffs at all. They're not even in like the running for the 8th spot.
Right, but I mean, you can say that about almost any team. Where if you take their best player away, I mean, you take Steph Curry away, they're probably still somewhere in the middle, 5, 6, but they're not number 1 in the West. You take James Harden away, they're probably still 5, 6, but they're not top 4.
But
so I mean, like,
thing. You take Russell Westbrook away, their team.
Are you saying right now with Durant being out too, or are you saying with Durant being healthy?
Well, with Durant being out also because Durant missed majority of the season. Russell Westbrook has only missed a month for the most part. Because, the first month, put it that way, not necessarily in days, but he only missed the first month of the season.
Okay.
So, All I'm saying is, without Russell Westbrook, they wouldn't even be in consideration for the 8th spot.
All right. Well, do you think Chris Paul should be in the conversation for MVP?
That's a good point you bring up. A lot of people are talking about how Chris Paul is definitely a sleeper in the MVP race, especially after his 33-9 performance. I believe it was against Westbrook, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
But and they did take that win, by the way.
Yeah.
But the reason why I feel like Chris Paul shouldn't be in the MVP race is basically based off of player efficiency rating. If anybody we should be talking about, it should be Anthony Davis.
Right.
Anthony Davis is #1 in player efficiency rating with with a PER of 31.34.
Well,
Then second is Russell Westbrook. Then third is Kevin Durant, even though he has barely played. Fourth is Stephen Curry, and then fifth is James Harden. Those are the main guys, of course,
Right.
besides Kevin Durant, who are getting considered for this MVP.
Well, I wouldn't put him in there because I feel like he's probably not even the top 5 guard in the league right now.
I wouldn't say all that.
I'd
now.
put Curry, Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, John Wall. I'd
Couldn't
probably put all
Wall
of them
over
in front of
him.
him.
I couldn't put Wall over him. I couldn't do it.
Hey, I probably would.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't put Kyrie Irving over him. I couldn't do it because honestly, and I know I just got through saying Chris Paul isn't one of the people that should be considered for an MVP, but no, like let's not be totally disrespectful now. Chris Paul is a top 5. Chris Paul is a top 5 point guard in the NBA without a doubt, and I mean he's one of. And the thing is, he's still considered that. Also by being one of the last true point guards in the NBA. As you know, like I said
Right.
earlier, the league is evolving. The point guard position is a scoring position now.
Right, but
Chris
I mean, you
Paul
still got
doesn't
John Wall
necessarily
that
have to-
scores and passes the ball. He's leading the league in assists. So I
the
mean,
league leader in assists, and that's why I tip my hat to John Wall for becoming a better player from other years, usually feeling like he always has to do it by scoring. But
well, this past week, Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity were caught on tape singing non-anti-Negro chants, and
we got to do better, guys. That's
the
all I'm saying.
the words that came to mind when I first saw this were disgusting, despicable, and intolerable. Are the words that came to my mind. This was disrespectful to all Greek organizations and not just African Americans, but the fact that these white Americans were singing racist anti-Negro chants it was just intolerable. I'm glad the university stepped in and they didn't waste any time in taking action. They made them all move out of their frat house and they expelled the students that were able to be recognized on tape. But I feel like the sad part about some of this is these same students
Are going to be our lawyers.
they're the lawyers, they're the teachers, they're probably still going to be the doctors of tomorrow. So, I mean, who knows if this trend is really going to end? Like, I just feel like it was really disrespectful.
And my question is, how long has this been going on for?
Exactly.
Because this is for a fraternity now, so that means this chant has been going on for quite some time.
Exactly.
So this is nothing new. So
Right.
my question is, did the university just take action just because the public now knows about it?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it just something that they kept from the university?
Right. I'm
for
sure
such
they
a
kept
long
it from the
time?
university because
I mean, I don't wanna jump to conclusion. That's why I'm asking the
right.
question.
Because I mean, the president couldn't be in all their meetings or whatever. But I do feel like when they said that this song has not been handed down from generation to generation, they're singing it to the melody. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. So I mean, like that song is really old. So for them to be
Yeah.
singing it to that melody, it made me think twice about.
Yeah, it makes you think, how long
How
have
lo-
they been singing this?
Exactly.
And it's just despicable in my eyes.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's not that's very frowned
Yeah,
upon.
like racism is frowned upon now. Like I don't get why people don't
I don't-
understand this. I don't know. It's
Me either.
Well, moving on, we have a great top 5 coming up for you guys. Gonna go ahead and get into that on a lighter note.
Dexter, good idea. Anthony Davis on top of Zeller. Look out below. My goodness. And I like the way Dexter was thinking.
What a play by Irving. He gives you a move with every part of his body.
Curly Miller
somewhere saying, yeah, I like that. I used to do that for the Globetrotters. You look at this ball handle and then able to finish with the left.
They were soft on the feet.
Sessions for Butler, and a big slam for Rasul Butler.
Everybody running the floor. You've got to do that. That's an outlet for Sessions. Pretty exciting finish by Rasul Butler.
Monte Eunice now post up, likes to go to his offhand. He can knock down the occasional three. And same for Terrence Jones. Oh!
Man, Chris Kamen get out of the way. Josh Smith with the flush. Largest lead of the night for Houston.
Ooh-wee. Smith just throws it down on Kamen. A little authority. The bench liked it.
Did not see it coming.
We sure saw it coming.
And they've tried to run the play 3 times now, and on the third one, yes, indeed, a charm. Maybe one of DJ's best dunks of the year.
Look at where he catches this ball.
That's Mike Smith at age 8 playing on a Nerf league. I mean, that's probably what it feels like to him.
Thinking the same thing.
Look at that, look where his head is. And folks, he is left-handed. And throws that ball like a right-handed pitcher. He is so coordinated.
Yeah. DeAndre Jordan.
Wow, he always gets one of those a
He
year.
gets at least one a year, one victim a year at least. But that's all we have for today. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at BCU Sports Corner. From Timothy White and myself, Felix Reyes Jr. See you next time right here on Sports Corner.
Oakland, we got to do better, guys. Come on, let's get someone.